All right, everyone, welcome back to episode 2 with the Will It Run series for the CB350F. And today we have, we're going to go through the necessary diagnostics that we need to go through to see what's working and what's not. I kind of already did it, but not on camera, so we'll go through it one more time. I'll catch you all up to speed. Without further ado, let's roll the intro and get right into the episode of the 350F to see if it runs. See you in a moment. All right, guys, so I, off camera, have checked for spark and checked for oil, put new spark plugs in, yada, yada. Come to find out, I tested the coils, they're shot, so I went ahead and I ordered new coils, points and condensers, spark plugs, and float bowl gaskets. I have not looked in the carbs yet, so fingers crossed that, you know, they're not too seized and we can get them back up and running, no problem. So in this episode, we're going to start by taking the tank off, getting everything exposed, the seat off, and getting the carbs off the bike, inspected, put the new coils on, and see if we can fire this thing up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. All right, here we go. Got that open. Now we can go ahead here, take the tank off. This tank needs to be cleaned, so we're going to go ahead and do that as well. We're going to start by getting these here carbs off. Side cover there, side cover here. So the starter motor works, the blinkers work, the headlight works, all the lights work, which is incredible. Now, I have a feeling these carbs are going to be, a wee bit gummed up. You can really tell this bike sat outside for a year or two. It really is showing its age, let's put it that way. It doesn't look horrible, but it definitely shows its age. You can see the coil, ground points on the coil packs are really rusty. Oh, this thing smells. Honestly, I don't have a doubt that it won't run. Oh man, everything's so rough. I wish, my next purchase is gonna be an ultrasonic cleaner. My next tool is gonna be an ultrasonic cleaner because all this shit would clean up so well if I just had one of those. I guess we'll go for it. Ugh. Holy crap. Ugh. Mate, talk about on there. Wow. This is the type of stuff I need Angelo for. Yes! 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 Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. All right, now that we have the carbs off, I'm going to start by taking the float bowls apart. A partito. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, looks like we are not getting this bike started anytime soon. All right, so upon inspection, we were so close to having a nice, smooth ride. 3 of the 4 are very easily cleanable. Cylinders 1, 2, and 4. However, for some reason, some weird mold, gunk, rust stuff got caught in cylinder 3, resulting in a very difficult process for yours truly. I don't have the proper tools for carbs that look like this, so we're going to try to figure it out. I didn't get the chance to film the step-by-step process of this, but check out these carburetors. So as you can recall, here's the before, and I'll show you the after in a moment here. But the before, you can see there was a ton of crud, a ton of these rocky, corrosion, dusty stuff. Not good. So what I did was I reached out to a good friend, BJ, over at Brick House Builds. I'll link his page below. He is, as always, a tremendous resource, and I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner for carburetors and things like that and bolts. So what he told me was use Pine Sol and let them soak overnight. I have a concoction of 3 different things: a bottle of Pine Sol, a bottle of vinegar, and a half a bottle of rust remover. And as you can see, there's a pretty good reaction going on here. Let me get a closer look. Here's our solution. There was a ton of reactions, which, you know, is a good thing. But as you can see, look at how good these came out. Like, look at that. They cleaned right up. Let me try to get a little closer here. Look at that. They cleaned right up. And the reason we did this was to free up this float. And look at what happened. It's freed up. Look at that. So thank you, BJ from Brickhouse Builds. Check out his page below. Ton of great information and useful knowledge. While these were soaking overnight, I also soaked the tank overnight in vinegar. And the tank cleaned up really, really well. There is no holes, no pinholes, no leaks, which is an unbelievable score. And I shook the inner tank with a bunch of rocks, big rocks, little rocks, and shook it like 15 times, rinsed it, shook, rinsed it, shook, and you know, took probably 95% of the pitting and rust out of the inside, and we are pretty much good in business for a working tank. I just have to get the petcock going again, just a little rebuild kit, nothing serious, but yeah, so not bad. First things first, oh, it smells like varnish. Most of these old tanks you'll find, oh gosh, I will be right back. I'm going to take out this internal seal that is 100% most likely bad. Luckily, I have a replacement that's in decent shape. I'll grab my screwdriver. Oh, this is a JIS screw head, so if anyone works on Japanese motorcycles, make sure you get JIS screwdrivers. It's very important, or else you'll strip a lot of things. Next step is to clean off the petcock area, which is right here, and we're going to tape it off. Your next step is going to be go on Amazon and buy aquarium fish rocks. They work great for me. They are very abrasive and they will knock some things off the edges, but they're still small enough where you won't have any stragglers behind, and they'll all come out of the holes, and it should be pretty good. I'm going to mix this with water. I'm going to put in about half of this bag and then shake it around a bunch of times. We'll probably do that process like 2 or 3 times. All right, now we're going to pour in about half of this bag. That should be good. Now we're going to go out back and fill it up with water and shake it in rocking. Now it's time to shake and groove. All right, now that we have these all cleaned up and free, time to do a little inspection on camera. All right, so as you can see, the concoction that I came up with based off BJ's recommendation with Pine Sol really did us a huge favor. Look at how good these carbs cleaned up. I haven't even scrubbed them, touched them, or nothing. Now, the one negative about this whole thing is this main jet housing right here. As you can see, this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what it does look like, which I think is not going to help us in any way, shape, or form with getting this running. A big positive was before we soaked them, this float was completely stuck. Now it's not. So here is a great way to cheaply clean your carburetors without any expensive tools or gadgets. But in the meantime, I'm going to start to take things apart and replace and fix what I need to fix. So we're going to do that. Look at that movement on the floats. That's a good sign. One hell of a sign, fellas. Show me a sign. I went ahead and purchased, in this box, you'll see points condensers, new coils, and plugs. So I went ahead and bought that to get this sparking again. And I had to source a number 2 carburetor. A gentleman from Australia hooked me up and sent one overseas to me, which was a huge help because, as you can see here in front of me, we have a set of carburetors that are fully jetted, cleaned, and ready to pop on the CB350 to finally see if we're going to have a running CB350F. Now, my whole challenge when I first picked this bike up was to see if I can get it running for as cheap as humanly possible. And since some things were dead, like the coils, obviously with dead coils, you can't start the bike. So I had to buy a set of coils. They weren't too expensive. I wasn't too mad about it. It was under $100, so we'll live with that. And the guy from Australia was nice enough to send me a carburetor and all the bits for the carburetor for just the cost of shipping. So all in all, not into it for too much, but let's put it this way. I'm at the cap to where I don't want to put any more money into it until it's running. Because until it's running, it's not really worth anything, to be quite honest. So we're going to go ahead, see if it's going to run, and I'm going to start by putting the coils on, swapping over the bad ones for the new ones, and we're not even going to touch the points and condensers. I'm going to look at the points just to inspect them, and if I have to replace them, I have them, so no big deal. And once we do that, I'll mount the carburetors, put my new air box filter in, and some gas, right? Sounds easy enough, but with this stuff, you never know because there's always a roadblock. I'm excited. I love the roadblocks. It teaches me lessons. I learn, and I love that. I'm going to go ahead and get these plugs off, these coils, and replace them for the new ones. All right, here we are. Here is one of the coils. Perfect. Figure out, but when I did, it's helped me so many times. And right now is one of those instances where this little tip trick is going to help you all as well. So as you can see, maybe these bolts on the coils are so rusted and corroded that they just strip out. And since they're going to just strip out, I have a method for the old Phillips or JIS screw heads that always strip from these vintage motorcycles. I have a little tip trick that works for me 9 out of 10 times. And that is getting your Dremel, putting on a cutoff wheel, and you simply put a flat head, you put a line with the Dremel in the top of the screw head. That creates a flathead surface. From there, I use this really long flathead screwdriver, which helps me give a little bit more torque on it and sturdiness because it's got a wide end on it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how this works and how great it works. First, I'm going to go in with a Phillips head and go like this so you can see. And I'm going to try to get this one off, okay? I'm going to push down really hard, and I tried heat, but we're going to go like this. Okay, clearly doesn't move and actually ended up ruining my screwdriver tip. What you do, fire this up. I'm just going to make a flathead into the top of the bolt. Now I'm going to use this flathead and watch the magic happen. So you're turning a JIS screw head that is old, rusty, and stripped into a flathead, and you're going to use the biggest flathead you possibly have. Put a lot of pressure downward and turn slowly. Now there's a ton of methods to do this, but this is kind of just mine. And it's always nice to learn something new. Look at that. Popped right off. Every time. Works every time. And now the screw, it's almost revived, and it's fully reusable. Works every time. Works every time. All right, both new coils are in. Now it's time to trim and put the caps on. Okay. This side's 1 and 4. All right, now it is the moment of truth, and we are going to confirm that we have spark again by unplugging all the caps, putting a spark plug in one of the caps, touching it to the engine case, and that should ground it to the point where we see some spark going on. If that's the case, I'm going to put the new air filter in and connect the gas tank, put gas in the thing, and try to get this thing started. So turn the key switch on, I don't know if you can see that, but we have oil light and neutral light. All good. I am going to grab a spark plug. All right, now we're going to go ahead and throw on these rebuilt carburetors. Should be in good shape. And we're going to try our best to get these on because it's kind of a pain in the ass. As you can see, these carburetors have been kicking my butt. I'm drenched in sweat. Finally, about to attach them. Freaking 30 minutes later, I couldn't film the whole thing. It was horrible. I was swearing, I was pissed, I was yelling, all sorts of emotions. We're in now, okay? Thing better freaking start. Better start. Woo! Look at that oil. Look at that air filter. Disgusting. Moment of truth. We're going to try to start it. All right, guys, so I just had a huge breakthrough. I was not getting spark to the plug. I was not getting spark to the plugs. I have new coils in. I put new caps on, new spark plugs, and I wasn't getting spark. So then I checked my points. I put new condensers on, still didn't get spark. Then I put new points on, and I'm getting spark now. So I think this thing's going to fire up in like 2 seconds. So let's wait and see. Fingers crossed. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I've been scratching my head all day about why this wouldn't be sparking with new coils. And lo and behold, it's the points. Which I didn't know. I don't know what I knew or didn't know. I was just...
Shooting out of the pipe. Nothing coming out of the right side. Right side's not running, Thomas.
Right side. We're gonna try it the old-fashioned way and try to kick it. No way. What? All right. Wow. No way. Oh my God, I knew it. I knew it. Boo, boo, boo. Woo! I'm going to pull this outside because there's a ton of crud in the mufflers. I don't want to get the garage all crazy. So I'm going to pull this outside. I'll bring the camera out with me, and we are going to continue this beautiful freaking thing. Ah! Are you kidding me? Only running on 2 cylinders. Still sounds good on 3. like the number 3 carburetor is not getting fuel. When we spray fluid in there, it ignites instantly. So definitely a carb issue there. I don't know, we'll have to see what the deal is, but we got 1, 2, and 4 firing, no problem. Spark on all 4 cylinders. It's running surprisingly well. Got some special to this thing, but watch this. Watch this, yeah, it's warm. So, first kick. 1974 CB350F, pulled out of the yard after sitting there for a year or two. Thing looks like crap, runs like a top. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the Will It Run series for the CB350-4. If I do any more work to this or decide to invest more into the project, I will make more episodes on it. If not, I'll probably end up just selling it. This 350 is ready to go, only 7,700 on the clock. All it needs is some tender love and care, a little bit of restoration, elbow grease, and this thing will be purring like brand new in 74. Back is olive green. Yes, there is some rust on it, but it's an unbelievable patina. If you choose to restore it that way, it could pop and revive real easily. But yeah, the bike's all there. All the stock parts are there. I have the side covers. They're just not on at the moment. The carbs, running on 3 of 4 cylinders, which is probably just either a float or a pilot jet issue. I'll take a look at that. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep tinkering, and that's going to wrap it up for the Will It Run series for the CB350F. Remember, at milezero.racers, we're one team, one family. Thanks for being dope, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Alright, here's a bonus track. I took the carbs off one more time and found a issue with some blockage on the 3rd carb, which is causing it to not run. Fingers crossed that this is going to run on all 4. You'll be able to hear the difference. It's running. I mean, it sounds like 4, and it
sounds like it's fast.
I actually just burnt my fingers.
It's idling at 1200 right now. No problem. Are you kidding me? Only running on 2 cylinders. Okay, I'm running, it's weird. I'm running on cylinder 4 and 2. I'm only running on cylinders 4 and 2, and 1 in 3 are not firing, which means it should be a fuel thing, because that might be a fuel thing, because if they were grouped where like 2 and 3 weren't running, most likely that's an ignition thing. Huh. I gotta do some thinking. I could be wrong with that analysis. Let me do some thinking. Are you kidding me? Only running on 2 cylinders. Okay, I'm running, it's weird. I'm running on cylinder 4 and 2. I'm only running on cylinders 4 and 2, and 1 and 3 are not firing, which means it should be a fuel thing, because that might be a fuel thing, because if they were grouped where like 2 and 3 weren't running, most likely that's an ignition thing. Huh. I gotta do some thinking. I could be wrong with that analysis. Let me do some thinking. Are you kidding me? Only running on 2 cylinders. Okay, I'm running, it's weird. I'm running on cylinder 4 and 2. I'm only running on cylinders 4 and 2, and 1 and 3 are not firing, which means it should be a fuel thing, because that might be a fuel thing, because if they were grouped where like 2 and 3 weren't running, most likely that's an ignition thing. Huh. I gotta do some thinking. I could be wrong with that analysis. Let me do some thinking.